Hi students, in the previous recorded session we discussed about Jamaican fragment introduction and also about A.L. Hendricks. As you know, A.L. Hendricks is an West Indian writer. Along with that one, he is a very prolific writer. In this Jamaican fragment, he has explored the topic of the issue of class, race, region, and that's actually caste. We got to know that he walks from his home to the railway track in the morning as well as in the evening. It is just like a walk for a healthy personality. While going from home to railway track and coming back from railway track to home, here in between these he encounters a very special incident. What is that? Now we shall look into it. One morning, about halfway between my front gate and the railway track, I noticed two boys playing in the garden of the more modest cottages. They were both very little boys. One was 4-year-old perhaps, and the other 5-year boy. One is 4-year and the other is 5-year. The bigger one of the two was a sturdy youngster. He was very sturdy youngster with very dark mat-like hair. Hair on his head, and he had coal black eyes. He was definitely a little Jamaican, strong little Jamaican. The other little fellow was smaller but also sturdy. While going from home to railway line and while coming from railway line to home, he has seen two boys. One is of perhaps 4 years old and the other is 5 years old. So they have described how the physical appearances of boys are. The first 5 years a little younger, and he said the little elder brother, the little elder fellow was very sturdy, was very strong, and he has very dark with a mat of coarse hair. See, have you seen the mat, how rough, thick it comes? It will not be very thin, or it will be very much rough. So have you seen the hair of the African people? How strong it will be. Like when you visit Bangalore, you see people traveling in buses or metros. They have very thick hair, and they also tie it very neatly where the hair doesn't come out like that. So he had hair like very, very thick, and it was placed like a mat on the horse. It is neatly arranged. And he had also coal black eyes. You have seen its very black eyes. And how they've described this fellow is, he was, the other little fellow was smaller, but also he was a strong fellow. How was he? He was a white fellow. He is white, hazel eyes, light brown hair. See here, this 4-year fellow was a white. Have you seen the white people? They usually have not a black hair, but a brown hair. He has hazel-like eyes. Hazel-like eyes means like, have you seen the cat eyes, how it will be very beautiful? Sometimes it looks very beautiful. Like that, he had hazel eyes and light brown hair. He had light brown hair, but this fellow had black hair with coal black eyes, and he was also strong, sturdy, and even he was very strong fellow. And both of them were wearing a blue shirt with a khaki pants. Both of them are dressed with blue shirt. Blue shirt with a khaki pant. A khaki pant. Both of them were wearing the same color of attire. They wore no shoes and their feet were very muddy. Might be they were playing in the garden. This man, who is actually the author of this prose, he was standing might be far away from where the boys were playing. From there, he might have seen it. The feet were empty. They did not wear any type of shoes. And the feet were very muddy. The mud was stuck to the feet. यानी पाँव में कीचड़ लग चुका था. They were not conscious of my standing there watching them. They played on. Here, he's telling that he was might be the children were playing here, and the boy and this man who is describing this incident, he is standing far away. Then he is standing far away from that place. And these boys were not conscious. Conscious means aware. Here, these two children were not aware of this man who is standing far away from here and observing these two children. Example, you take, if you are in the classroom, principal might see from the windows, isn't it? You people will not be aware of his presence there. In the same way, these two children who are playing, who are standing here or playing there, were not aware of this man standing far and observing both of these fellows. They played on. The game, it could be called a game, was not elaborate. It is not a big game. The little boy walked majestically up and down and every now and then shouted in a commanding tone at his bigger playmate. The little brown boy dragged on quietly behind him and did what he was told. See, this fellow, what he is observing is, this small white fellow, he is commanding the black fellow. Commanding means ordering the black fellow, and whatever this white boy is telling, this elder fellow, this black boy is doing. He is walking right here like this, up and down he is walking and he is commanding, you do this, and whatever is the tone of this fellow is also very commanding. It's like giving the orders directly. This fellow is commanding to this fellow. This elder boy who is 1 year, perhaps maybe 1 year elder than him. He is 5 years old and black fellow. This white fellow is ordering this fellow, commanding, and whatever he is telling, he is doing, obeying the orders in a very punctual manner. And this boy is walking up and down majestically. The word majestically means like in a more high and very, have you seen the officers, the army officers or the British people or the one who are in police, they walk very majestically and they order it, whatever they say we have to follow it. In the same way, this boy is walking up and down from here to there, he is moving, and behind the black fellow is following, and whatever the white boy is telling, the black boy is following. Pick up that stick. The dark boy picked it up. Jump into the flowers. The dark boy jumped. Get me some water. The dark boy ran inside. The white boy sat down on the lawn. Firstly, what was the order that the black boy told? First order was pick up that stick. The second was jump into the flower. Jump into the flower. And the third was get me some water. These three commands were given by white boy to the black boy, and the black boy obediently obeyed the order. In a more disciplined way, he picked up that stick. As soon as the white boy gave the command, the black boy took the stick. As soon as he told her jump into the flower, he did it. He never questioned it. And And when he gave the order to fetch some water, he ran inside and got some water as soon as possible. Now again, the shift is for the observer. I was amazed. Here before my eyes, a white baby, for they were little more than babies, was imposing his will upon a little black boy, and the little black boy submitted. I puzzled within myself as I went on the road. Could it be that little boy is son of a house servant? I asked myself, no. They were obviously dressed alike. The little black boy was a neighbor's child. I was sure of that. Then how was it that he obeyed so faithfully the white boy's order? Here, in the author's mind, there's a question. He has seen this. The white boy is commanding and the black boy is obeying all the orders. Now, he's puzzled. He's shocked. Like, what do I have to conclude from this? They are very small children of 4 years and 5 years. They are not aware of what the elders have gone through, the inferiority and the superiority complex. What could I have to conclude from this? He's very much puzzled and amazed. He's thinking he might be a servant, a child of a servant. But how can he be? If he was a child of a servant, he was a son of a servant, why are they dressed alike? Why have they dressed the same? It is not possible because they have dressed it in the same way. He's thinking again that he might be a son of a neighbor. This is possible, right? Our neighbors can wear the same dress, right? So he's thinking that he might be the son of a neighbor. Now he's sure that he is the son of a neighbor. Even though he is the son of a neighbor, how he is accepting, obeying so faithfully to the orders given by a small boy of a white race to a black man. He left here and he's just walking. As he's passing, he's thinking all these things. Like, how is it possible that the white fellow is commanding and the black boy is following? They can't be brothers. He's imagining that. He can't be his brothers, but yes, definitely he can be a neighbor's son. But still he is so amazed at how can neighbor fellow can so faithfully obey to the orders. Was it even that as a boy sensed that in his own country he would be at the white man's beck and call? Could he make a difference between himself and the white boy? And could he think that he was going to be the boss over the black man? I could find no answers. Here he's telling, this is Jamaica, a place where actually the Jamaicans are superior. But here, a small child of 4 years is commanding to the black fellow and he is obeying. How this can be possible? In his own state, in his own country, he has become a slave of a white boy of a small who is no more than a greater from him. He's thinking, who's thinking? The author is thinking himself. Like, how can he make a difference between a black boy and a white boy because they are very small? They'll not be having a knowledge of this casteism or racism. How can he just think of it? The poet is started imagining, like he has a number of questions in his mind because we usually say that in our motherland there is equal opportunities, but this is the state like there is a small proverb in Hindi, right? Apne ghar mein bhi chuwa sher hota hai. In the same way, in the little Jamaican also, the black fellow, even this is his own place, this is his own country, but still he is obeying the white man's order. He is, whatever the white man is telling, he is obeying that. He is just thinking that, and how is it even possible that a small boy is ruling the country? Again, he is thinking that do the times will appear again, the history will repeat again that by British will rule the world, the white man will rule the world. The author is trying to imagine all these questions because it's possible that again the white man may rule the world. This question he has in his mind. But still he could not find the answer. I could not bring into myself to believe such a thing, and with my own eyes I had seen a little dark boy take orders from a little white girl. Obviously his social equal and younger and smaller. We were as a race really inferior. So inferior that even in our infancy we realized our deficiencies and accepted a position as a white man's servant. Here he is telling that, I have seen with my own eyes, but this would not be a reality where the white man is ruling the world. He's thinking, how can a small boy can think, see, he's just 5 years old, the black boy. The author is thinking that even at the age of 5, will the children get to know what their position is? Are we really inferior to white man people? This actually is thinking by the observer, the author. Because he has seen with his own eyes, he has seen the real incidents that where a black boy is taking command from the white man. Even though he is a child and both he is smaller to him, but still this fellow is taking the orders from the white man. Like that, he has so many n number of questions. Even at a small child only, can we get to know that what our deficiencies are just because we are black? In the childhood only do we have to accept that we are inferior to white people? क्या हम लोगों को बचपन में ही ये समझ आ जाता है कि बच्चों को ही कि ब्लैक मैन जो है inferior यानी छोटा होता है white man से? These are the few questions that has popped up in author's mind. For a whole day, I was asking these questions to myself. For a whole day, my faith in my people was shaken. Because if this boy was strong, he would have repeated back the orders to him, and he could not have obeyed it. Right. But in the author's mind, the faith was shaken because he thinks that his people, his Jamaican people, his black people are not strong enough to face the white people. When he passed by the afternoon, the little boys were not there. When the observer was returning from the track line to his cottage, those boys were not there. That evening, I thought deeply on the subject because that was really a matter of awareness, where he had to think about it, because in his own country, even after independence also, the white man is ruling the black man. How is it even possible? He thinks about it. In the next session, we shall discuss about what happened to the boys and what's the actual story. So till that one, make sure read till page number 39 to 40, and they have given C1. Try to answer the questions in your notes. Stay home, study well. Bye-bye.